All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to stage 9 and 10 of the FRR Tour of Britannia. Today is our final episode of this tour, and we're going to be starting off in the Surrey Hills here in London, a total of 54 kilometers long and 1,250 meters of climbing with a custom finish. Now, this is one hell of a ride as we go up Fox Hill a few times. We go up Box Hill, we go up Keith Hill, we go up Leith Hill twice. It is an absolute bloodbath. So let's get into this route. Now, starting out today, I knew my target, and that was to kind of stick with the front for this, but also pace it out pretty well. I only thought that there were 3 KOMs. I thought we were going to do Fox Hill starting off, and then Box Hill, and then do Leith Hill or Keith Hill, one of the two. But I didn't know how long this course was actually going to be and how hard 1,250 meters of climbing feels like. So, starting off this race, we are putting down a lot of watts going up Fox Hill, and we get quite a good time of 7 minutes and 17 seconds personally. I thought it was a pretty good time, and we are in the second to first group here, and then we kind of catch the leaders pretty shortly. Now, our second climb of the day is going to be good old Box Hill. So to to kind of put it into perspective, we just did Fox Hill. We're going on to Box Hill now, and I'm sticking with the front group here. I'm actually making good time, but I'm already absolutely gassed. And now it's time we go up Leith Hill, which means more climbing. This is where I kind of start to feel it in the legs, and I do get dropped by this front group, but I am able to claw back with some good effort going up Leith Hill. I get into a rhythm, and I'm not going to catch those front guys, but I am going to gobble up some people in the backfield, if that's what you want to call it, and get a decent time up the hill. Now it's kind of all alone for me, and I don't really know what's next because we only have done 423 meters of climbing and we've only done 3 hills. So I'm kind of expecting an awful race today. At this point, I was kind of not sure of where we were going to be until I got onto the course. So I guess that's my fault. This is going to be our second time up Box Hill today, and it's not going to be a fun one. My legs are already hurting, and I do have a shortness of breath. My kind of exercise induced asthma is kicking my ass right now. So I'm trying to stay with some people and kind of get it back into a rhythm. But as we go up Box Hill, that is our fourth climb done for the day, and we are about halfway through the race. Now, at this point, we are going up Keith Hill, and this is where things go bad. There's nothing really else other to say than that, as I am not able to get over 2.5 watts per kilogram here on this hill. I end up absolutely grasping for straws. I'm in the lowest gear on my bike, and I'm just watching people fly by me. There goes Rambling Turkey, who I wanted to be on this course, and I was 3 minutes up on him, and now I can't get anywhere on this hill, and I am absolutely stuck on it. Now comes the back half of it, as I'm complaining in Zwift chat and no one's answering me because everyone is dead, and I'm not the only one, but I am the only one suffering this hard. Um, 2.0, 1.8. I mean, you can't go much slower up this hill. And I finally get to the top and I cross the finish line with 20 minutes it took me to climb Keith Hill. And guess what? We still have 400 more meters of climbing. Oh, brother, it's gonna suck. Coming down this hill, I'm not even going that fast. People are passing me. Faces Are Glad, whatever 300 miles song is. Um, but guess what's back? We're back to Box Hill. This is another one where I'm not really able to do much. We end up passing Box Hill. It was only the start of it, and we're moving on to another hill here in the Surrey Hills, and it just doesn't seem to stop. We have 13.5 kilometers left, and we're starting Fox Hill yet again for the second time of the day. And like I said, I have zero in the tank. My legs have zero. I mean, it couldn't have been worse. Um, and I'm already an hour and a half into this race, so it was kind of embarrassing to just be out there. But I knew I needed to finish today. Today is the Queen stage. Today is the hardest day of the tour, and once we finish, it's over, right? Like once it's done, we only have one stage left, and we'll be able to finish. Our GC is probably over. We probably guarantee last place today with an awful attempt at a race here. Um, Extremely disappointed on the bike. I'm extremely disappointed recording this. It I had nothing left, really. I was completely empty. And here we start the end of the end. It's the final hill of Leith Hill. The easier side of the hill, I would say. Keith Hill, not my favorite. I'm gonna have nightmares about that one. And I'm gonna have nightmares about this whole race, honestly. But Leith Hill is the final one that I have to complete of what, 5 KOMs that we've done so far, 6 KOMs. It hasn't been fun. So coming up Keith Hill, we'll speed it up a little bit here so you don't have to get tortured like I was tortured on this climb. Uh, Again, I'm 1.5 at this point. It's even slower than it was, but with a cramp, with some asthma, I end up getting back up to that 2.5 watts per kilogram, and I'm feeling a little bit better here. It is painful, but I don't want to be last. Um, I am dead last in my pen, but I didn't want to be dead last in the race. That would have been even worse. But I end up getting some good watts out here at the end. And the only thing I could have asked for was at least a decent finish. But I am in so much pain and suffering, and I have finally completed it. I'm a total of 30 minutes behind first place, average of 186, 2.3. I mean, just look at me. I look dead. Now, taking a look at the general classification, I am in absolutely dead last. The only person that is under me in the standings are people that haven't completed all of the stages. Um, I mean, I'm 5 minutes from the closest person from me. That was just an awful race. And like I said, you can easily lose the general classification in a single race, but you cannot win it. Now, moving on to the green jersey, there were no sprint segments in play, but we end up getting up the leaderboard just a touch. We are now officially placed in the top 20 spots today, and we're getting up there. We are getting closer to the top 10, but still, top 20 is fine with me as long as I can finish tomorrow. Now, with the Queen stage officially over, we start on stage 10, the Royal Pump Room in Yorkshire yet again. This is not a fun world. This has not been a fun series, but the FRR Tour of Britannia finally ends today with 2 sprint segments and also 2 KOMs. Now, this is a custom finish and will happen right after Potluck the second time. This is a tough little hill. Honestly, I'm glad this is over, and I'm excited to be finishing today. It's going to be a celebration. So in all celebrations, you gotta have ice cream, and that's what I'm gonna be wearing today, my Ben& Jerry's ice cream kit, and I'm ready to go. Now, as we start stage 10, the final stage of the FRR Tour here, I am not feeling great. Yesterday, the Queen stage, the Surrey Hills really killed me, and I'm looking to not bonk as hard as I did yesterday. And as the first sprint segment starts, I am all out for it. This is my time to shine. This is my time to put myself into the leaderboard of the green jersey. And very quickly, my legs say, hey, man, after yesterday, let's just stop. And I'm now 30th out of 31st. I am second to last in this leaderboard on the pen. Um, Honestly, I just didn't have anything left in me. My legs were cooked after that sprint, and I knew that I didn't want to feel how I did getting off the bike yesterday. So I kind of got into a groove and I rode alone for a good chunk of this race. Um, I I really don't know. I was very disappointed that my last 50 kilometers were gonna be alone, but you know how it is. Sometimes you just get caught up and you just don't have it. And with all the fatigue mentally and physically that this tour has put me through, I really didn't have anything left for this race, and 50 kilometers is going to be a long time, but I am clawing back though. That is an important part to say is I am I'm catching up some of the riders that have passed me a little earlier in the race because I've kind of kept my head into the game. And right here, we end up joining this group of riders that come from behind. Now, this is one of the lead groups of the back side of the pens. That didn't really make any sense. These guys are basically the lead pack for the categories below me. So I decide, hey, this is going to be my group. I'm going to stick out with these guys. If they are a lower category than me, I can stay with them. And that's basically going to be my goal until they drop me. um, I I wasn't fast enough. They were faster than me, and they had more legs than I did. So I ended up losing them, and I was a little disappointed on it because I finally, for once, got to ride with some riders. Even if it is two categories below me, it was nice to ride with people. And I do see them in the front ahead of me, but there's not really a chance in hell that I'm able to catch up with them just based how I feel. And we're already halfway through this race. Like, at least they were there for 10 kilometers, right? So moving on down through this good little descent, it's all about recovery, having a goo, getting some water in you, fueling correctly, and hoping that this fatigue hasn't killed the cat just yet. The sprint is coming up here, and I end up getting caught by another group of riders. Basically, the second group of that group that I got dropped from of the slower category, which is fine. um, I I'm actually really happy that they caught me and that there was a group. They were kind of the perfect riding partners for this race. Going up the hill when it's yellow, it was about 3.2, 3.0 watts per kilogram for me. And then anytime that it cooked up to an orange, 5% or higher, they were kind of pushing the 3.5 watts per kilogram. So it was kind of the perfect amount for me to stay fresh enough to stay with them based on all of the fatigue that I've gone through this whole tour. So I was very grateful for this group to pick me up and honestly be the best riding partners I could have asked for this tour. Now, on another note, we didn't really drop anyone in this group for quite a bit. We end up clawing back against the guys ahead of us, but there's no way we're going to catch them just based on who is in this group. They're not. the fastest riders, but they're the fastest riders that I can hang on to. And hang on to is one way to put it, because there were definitely times where I thought I was going to get dropped. But luckily I didn't. Luckily I was able to stay with them, and I end up riding with these people the entire route. Uh, Basically 20 kilometers all the way until the end. And I'm going to slow things down here once we get up and over this final hill towards Potluck, which I have said previously is the final climb of the Flame Rouge Racing Tour of Britannia. Um, so basically, this was a new race for me. These were the guys that are in first, quote unquote, first, and I wanted to beat. Um, Even though it didn't really mean that much, I know that I'm a faster rider than them, but just where I'm at, these are my people. These are my racers that I'm going to be coming. And here we go. I get back a little bit, and then I start putting down the watts, getting up to the fours, getting up to the 4.5s, and I absolutely kind of blow them out of the water. And at the time, it felt so good to see the finish. I had 200 meters left. I was beating the riders that I was riding with, and then I had some riders ahead of me that I really wanted to beat. So all of the pain, all of the suffering was worth it in this minute. And I knew it was going to come down to the wire here with 100 meters left, and I'm putting out some decent watts. Look at that pain face. I am done. Oh boy, a big let's go. I am super happy. 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 49 seconds. 26th place, 11, almost 12 minutes done. And that is it. The FRR Tour of Britannia, I have done. I have completed 5,500 meters of climbing, 372 kilometers over the last 10 days. And I am so grateful for it. I mean, holy crap, I've gone through so much over the last 10 days. And this is a huge milestone. I mean, how many people have really finished an FRR tour? So I I can't believe it. I'm on top of the world right now, even though I am in so much pain. But it is finally over. 10 stages. I hope you all enjoyed. We're going to check out the leaderboard here for the final time. Now, in the general classification, our official time is 11 hours, 14 minutes, and 13 seconds on the bike over the last 10 days. And we are in 57th position, which is luckily beating two riders who have also completed all 10 stages. Not last, which is really, really exciting stuff, and a total of hour and 7 minutes away from the riders. Now moving on to the green jersey, the one we've all been waiting for. So after 10 stages, the green jersey has been crowned to Nick Ludwig. And a big shout out to Josh Wallner, from the Coalition team. He's one of my friends that I've watched stream these races, and he ends up getting 5th place. And then Bill P, who's been on our ZRO team before, has captured 7th. Now looking a little bit more down the leaderboard, in 15th is our spot on the leaderboard. We came in top 15th place. Wow, I mean, I cannot believe it. It's been such a hard week, hard 10 days, and getting 15th is just unbelievable. So, a big shout out to myself for being able to, put down some watts in such a hard 10 stages. Now, now, I want to give a huge shout out to anyone that's watched all of these stages. This is just a huge moment for me. Finishing something like this from where I've come from in my fitness jersey is just outstanding. Um, and a huge shout out to the feed for sponsoring me here. And I mean, they fueled my rides, even though I did bonk and die. Um, they've been amazing, and I can't wait to eat a Ben and Jerry pint of ice cream.